Welcome back to Imagine That by Lori's Cabbage Patch Kid Hat Loom Tutorial Part 2. Before we get started, I wanted to show you this little graph that I have. You may want to screenshot this. It's an estimate of the number of rows and pegs that you'll need for each type of hat. Of course, all yarn is different. I do recommend using a swatch to figure out exactly what you need for yours, but this is just kind of a standard for standard size yarn. Mine that I'm making is considered, I guess, a preemie hat. Actually, it says newborn, but it's pretty tight with this. I'm not sure a newborn, this would be a great size for a newborn. I kind of liken this loom to an American Girl would be the size, but I use this size for brevity just so I could get the hat done in the tutorial. I'm going to start to complete the rest of my hat with the basic knit stitch. I need to do 14 rows for the type of hat or hat size that I'm doing. You'll need to refer to that chart or whatever size that you typically use for your hat size. So I'm just going to do the basic knit stitch. I'm going to wrap it around and I'm going to loop it over. If you need to know the basic stitches or the basic hat, I need you to go back 2 videos to my basic hat videos. Watch that as a refresher course and you'll be able to complete your hat in no time. I will check back with you as soon as I get my 13 rows completed. My 13 rows are done, so I'm going to get ready to cinch the hat to complete it. But I was looking at this, how fun of a sleeve would this be? Like the cuff of a sleeve. All I can imagine is white and then a red sweater, like a Santa sweater. It looks like shag carpet or the bottom of like Santa's, like on a Santa blanket. You could make that the edge, the bottom and the top edge, like fur on his cuff. I just love this stitch. But let's get ready to cinch our hat shut. First thing I do is I wrap my yarn around my loom 2 times just to make sure I have enough yarn to end my project and don't have to worry about it not having enough. So 2 times around and then I cut it. Got to get our needle threaded so we can knit off the hat. One little trick about threading yarn on a needle is you take a little slip of paper and you put the yarn inside the paper, fold the paper over, and then it very easily threads and you don't have to worry about fighting with your needle to get it threaded. Okay, this is where we ended, and you can always tell your last stitch because that is where the yarn is attached to, right? Whoops, I'm in my own light, right back there. So what you're going to do with your needle is you're going to go to your last stitch and you're going to pull it forward, and then you're going to go to the one to the left. You're simply going to put your needle up through it, pull your yarn, and then you're going to pop off that stitch, just like that. You're going to go to the next one, put your needle up through it. Oops, getting all tangled over there. Pull your yarn and pop off your stitch. You're going to do that all the way around, and as soon as I have that completed, I'll come back and show you the rest. This is probably my favorite part of making a hat. I love cinching it shut. You simply just pull on it until you get that cute little pucker there in the middle. Now, I like to play with this a little bit, and the best way to do it is to flip it inside out. Gosh, I keep going out of range there, don't I? All right, I like to flip it inside out and finish it from the underside. Make sure I get my circle. See this little circle in there? You want to make that nice and tight, as tight as you can. See? I don't know why, but I always call this my cat butt. It does look like a little cat butt, doesn't it? Gross, I know. So you're going to take your needle and you're going to go underneath the yarn right around the circle. And that's going to keep it held nice and tight. So I just keep looping that around. I do it twice. Oops. just to make sure that I get a good cinch on it and it stays that way. And then I'll put a couple stitches in it and I'll knot it off. So as soon as I get that done, I'll come right back. And there's our little basic hat. If you want to know how I finished it, I was weaving in my edges. Go back to my basic hat tutorial and it'll give you everything you need to know about a basic hat and getting it finished. Our little loopies are adorable. That's a lot of fringe. I may even go down to 3 rows on the preemie hat, but you get the idea. Now we need to finish our hat. I do have other tutorials. I have a basic blanket tutorial and I will be adding basic different stitch tutorials in the future. I also have my brand new published loom knitting journal. You know, check that out on Amazon. It is in my links. And I also have it available in my Etsy shop, Imagine That by Lori. If you go into my Amazon links, you're going to hit on the crafty section and that's where you're going to find my new book. And I encourage you, it is a lot. I was looking for the perfect journal, keep track of my projects, and I couldn't find one, so I created one. The last thing we need to do on this hat is get our little pigtails attached. I was rewatching my video and it said that my journal is a lot. Well, it's what a lot of us need, but it's not a lot of money. The journal itself is $8.99 on Amazon. You can keep track of your projects, your yarn, your pattern that you used. I encourage you to check it out. It's been a great help for me rather than trying to keep track of everything myself. Now back to the tutorial, the piggy tails. I used my planner and it's about 7 inches and I went and I wrapped it around. I did that about 20 times to get these pigtails and then I tied them here and I used I left a tail and then I put that in through, I just eyeballed where to put it. And I put some little ties here and on the end. I did make some little bow embellishments and just to see what they would look like where I would put them. You can put them up here at the top of the pigtail. You could put them down here at the bottom of the pigtail. You could put them just here and I would just stitch those on. I wouldn't glue them on. I would stitch them on with just regular needle and thread. But I think I'll probably place mine up by the pigtails. I think I liked where they looked. I think on a larger hat other than a preemie hat, these bows might be a little big on a preemie hat. Might look better on the bottoms, but I think you get the idea. I hope you liked this tutorial and you'll check out the other ones that I have, and please don't forget about that loom knitting journal. You can always find me on Imagine That by Lori. I'm also on YouTube and in my Etsy shop, as well as I have an Amazon storefront, and you can see that up in my links. Have a great day.